Picture this. You sit down for the first time all day. Maybe it's 4 in the afternoon. Your coffee is finally warm. You have 30 seconds to yourself, and then you feel it. 2 small hands pressing into your thigh. A little body pulling itself up, crawling across your lap, settling directly on your chest like you are the only surface in the entire world worth being on. You might laugh. You might sigh. You might gently move them to the side for the 4th time in an hour. But here is what almost no parent stops to ask in that moment: why does my baby do this? Not as a behavior to manage. Not as something to encourage or discourage. But as a signal. A deeply biological, psychologically loaded signal that their developing brain is actively sending, through their body, through their hands, through the weight of them pressing into you. Because what looks like clinginess on the surface is something researchers in developmental psychology describe as one of the most sophisticated communication systems a baby possesses. It is not random. It is not manipulation. And it is doing something to their brain, quietly, consistently, and in ways that will shape how they handle stress, relationships, and safety for years to come. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is happening inside your baby's nervous system every single time they climb on you. And you will never see that small, insistent weight on your lap the same way again. Here is what most parents believe: that when a baby constantly climbs on them, pulls at their clothes, or refuses to be set down, it means something has gone slightly wrong. That they have somehow created a dependent child. That they are being too available, too soft, too present. The word that gets used most often, by well-meaning relatives, by parenting forums, by that one voice inside your own head at 6 p.m. when you have not stood up unassisted in 2 hours, is spoiled. And that belief, however understandable, is one of the most damaging misconceptions in modern parenting. Because it takes something your baby is doing exactly right and reframes it as a problem to be solved. Developmental psychologists who study early attachment, the invisible emotional bond that forms between a caregiver and child in the first years of life, have found that physical proximity seeking, which is the technical term for what your baby is doing when they climb on you, is not a sign of overdependence. It is a sign of a nervous system doing precisely what it was designed to do. Your baby is not trained yet to self-regulate. That means they cannot manage stress, overwhelm, or uncertainty from the inside. Their brain does not yet have the wiring for it. So they do the only logical thing available to them. They come to you. They press their body against yours because your body is, quite literally, their external nervous system. Your heartbeat. Your warmth. Your smell. Your stillness or your calm. All of it is data their brain is absorbing and using to answer one urgent question that runs underneath every moment of their early life: am I safe right now? Most parents are answering that question correctly every single day without even knowing it. But because no one has ever explained what is actually happening beneath that small climbing body, the doubt creeps in. The worry that closeness is weakness. That need is a flaw. It is not. And the science is unambiguous about why. So what is actually happening inside your baby's brain when they climb on you? Researchers in developmental neuroscience have identified several distinct processes that activate the moment your baby makes physical contact with your body. Each one matters. Each one is worth understanding. Sign 1: co-regulation in action. When your baby climbs onto you, their nervous system is not simply seeking comfort in the emotional sense. It is borrowing your biology. Researchers have found that a caregiver's steady heartbeat, body temperature, and calm breathing literally entrain a baby's own physiological rhythms, slowing their heart rate, lowering their cortisol levels, which is the primary stress hormone, and signaling to their brain that the threat, whatever it was, is over. Your body is not just comforting them. It is teaching their nervous system what calm feels like from the inside. Sign 2: the brain is building a map. Every time your baby climbs on you and is met with warmth, a hand on their back, your voice, your presence, their brain lays down what psychologists call a secure base memory. Not a conscious memory they will recall at age 10, but a deep procedural imprint that shapes how they expect the world to respond to their needs. Researchers have found that babies who are consistently met during these proximity-seeking moments develop stronger stress recovery systems later in childhood. They are not more dependent. They are more resilient. Sign 3. Language before language. Your baby does not yet have words. What they have is their body. Climbing on you is one of the most articulate things they can do. It means I am overwhelmed. It means I need to reset. It means you are my safe place and I need to feel that right now. Developmental psychologists describe this as preverbal attachment communication, and the parents who learn to read it accurately are giving their babies something that no flashcard or educational toy can replicate. They are teaching them that their signals matter. That they will be understood. Stop here for a moment. Think about how many times you have interpreted your baby climbing on you as neediness, as inconvenient timing, as something to redirect. Now consider that in that exact moment, their brain was reaching for the one resource it trusts most in the world. You were not being interrupted. You were being chosen. Sign 4. Identity and safety are being wired simultaneously. There is a concept in developmental psychology called the secure attachment cycle, the loop that begins when a baby feels distress, reaches toward a caregiver, is met with consistent warmth, and returns to exploration feeling recharged. Researchers have found that this cycle, repeated thousands of times across the first 3 years of life, does not just make a baby feel loved. It literally shapes the architecture of the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, empathy, and decision-making in adulthood. Every time your baby climbs on you and you receive them, even imperfectly, even while tired, even while you had other plans, that cycle completes. Another loop of the wiring closes. Sign 5. They are telling you the environment is too big right now. Babies do not climb on you when they feel expansive and curious. They climb on you when the world has briefly exceeded their capacity. A new face. A loud sound. A moment of separation that stretched a little too long. The climb is a recalibration. A return to baseline. And the fact that they come back to you, specifically, consistently, urgently, is not a burden. It is the clearest possible evidence that the attachment is working exactly as nature intended. There is something that does not show up in research papers. Something the data points toward but never quite captures in full. And it is this: the weight of your baby on your chest is not an interruption to your day. It is the day. It is the whole point of it. Because here is what the science is really saying underneath all the terminology, underneath the cortisol levels and the attachment cycles and the prefrontal cortex wiring. It is saying that you, specifically you, are irreplaceable to this child. Not a better rested version of you. Not a more patient version. Not the version that had time to finish their coffee. You, right now, in this moment, are the entire external world your baby uses to understand whether life is safe or threatening, whether needs get met or go unanswered, whether the people you love will show up or turn away. That is not a small thing to be. That is an enormous thing to be. And most parents are carrying it without anyone ever stopping to tell them how well they are actually doing it. Developmental psychologists talk about the good enough parent, a concept that describes not perfection, but consistent, warm presence. Researchers have found that babies do not need a caregiver who never makes mistakes, never feels depleted, never needs a moment to themselves. They need a caregiver who comes back, who receives them more often than not, who lets them climb, and holds them, and becomes the living evidence that the world responds to their needs. Every time you have let that small body settle onto yours, even when you were exhausted, even when you had already been climbed on a dozen times that day, you were completing something profound inside their developing brain. You were not giving in. You were building the neurological foundation for every close relationship they will ever have. Think about what that means across a lifetime. The friendships they will trust. The love they will let themselves receive. The capacity to soothe themselves in the middle of the night as adults, because somewhere deep in their nervous system lives the memory of being held. You gave them that. Not perfectly. Not always. But enough. That is what your baby is doing when they climb on you. They are becoming who they will be. And they are doing it through you. So here is the one thing you can do today. The next time your baby climbs on you, before you redirect them, before you move them gently aside, before you do anything at all, give it 10 seconds. 10 seconds of full, deliberate reception. One hand on their back. Your body still. Your breathing slow. Let them complete the cycle. Let their nervous system find yours and borrow its calm for just a moment. You do not have to be available every second. You do not have to be perfect. But those 10 seconds, repeated consistently, are doing something inside your baby's brain that no amount of enrichment activities or developmental toys can replicate. They are building the architecture of safety. And safety, as every developmental psychologist will tell you, is where everything else begins. If this video helped you see your baby a little more clearly today, subscribe to this channel. Every week we take the science of early childhood development and translate it into something you can actually feel and use as a parent. Not to make you worry more, but to help you understand just how much the ordinary moments matter. You are doing more than you know.